Okay, collectors, here is our special offer that we have been anticipating the arrival of. Special thanks to our good friend and artistically gifted cuemaker, Mr. Rick Geschrey, formerly from Chicago, Illinois, just like the Blues Brothers and myself. Now by way of Las Vegas, Nevada. Viva Las Vegas. I guess Rick got sick of the winter up here. Rick Geschrey is an interesting gentleman. Rick is a very, very, very declarated commercial diver, one of the top commercial divers in the world at one time, and had a real successful business in Chicago. Was involved in the pool community and took a lot of influence from some of the great Chicago cue makers. Of course, Greg Peterson, DPK, Joel Hershek, Joey Gold from Cognoscente, Bert Schrager, and on and on and on, Ray Schuler. And Rick always gives credit where credit is due. You know, he doesn't steal the credit. He talks about the people that influenced him. You know, then you learn a few things from each person. You treat things like a buffet, right? You take what you like and you leave what you don't. And then Rick just stepped off into a league of his own. The true meaning of the word esoteric, which is the name of Rick's cues, esoteric, it's something that's intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with specialized knowledge or interest. Think about that. That kind of goes along with the pool collecting and pool playing community, doesn't it? Just a small group of people that have specialized knowledge or interest. What a cool name. And it really represents his product, because Rick doesn't do anything status quo, okay? He tries to be out of the box with everything. This particular cue right here, just to give you guys an idea what type of value this is, this cue is a tier 3 esoteric cue that normally starts off right around $4,400 to $4,500. Rick had this cue. He shipped it to us. We have it at our location here in Indiana. It'll be on our website shortly at crossroadcues.com. And Rick has allowed us to show this cue and make it available for only $34.75. There is a ton of value here. Now I want to start off by showcasing the Gabon Ebony Forearm and Gabon Ebony butt sleeve, of course. And what's really amazing about this particular piece, he's got floating points that are Amboyna Burl. You've got silver dot inlays right in the center. But then you have triple silver inlays in between each point. And they just shimmer when you turn them under the light. I love how he incorporates that silver. The wrap that separates the forearm and the butt sleeve, this is a leather wrap that is embossed elephant. It's not real elephant, but it is real leather. So no tree huggers or bunny kissers will send me any hate mail. It is real leather, not real elephant. And it's perfectly married to the cue. Rick does a great job, of course, with his wrap installation. I love the texture of it. This wrap was sourced from Brianna Products. I want to give a shout out to Lee Malikoff, another good friend of Rick's. Lee is responsible behind the scenes for putting out a lot of the cue parts that a lot of these master level cue makers use. And he does a really good job with his skeeving process. Some people call it skiving or skeeving. What I know about it to be a fact is that the grip on this is perfect. I like to play with cues that have wraps on them where when I'm in the middle of a shot and I slide my hand back, I know where the grip is. And that brings me to the balance point on this particular cue right here. Right here, there's your balance point. Nice forward weight, by the way. So it is forward balanced. You've got notched diamonds in each of the boxes. Okay, now what he did here was he carefully installed something, and he accomplished a feat that's really complicated when it comes to cue making, but these are quadruple compound inlays. Try to say that real fast, forward and backward. Quadruple compound inlays. They are made of top shelf Amboyna Burl that you can see, the Gabon Ebony, Elfoyn notched diamonds that really create the appearance of something that is no less than grand with a unique and tasteful flavor of excellence. That's the best way that I can describe what I'm looking at here. And again, the silver under the lights is remarkable. It does remind me, I will say this, and Rick wouldn't mind that I say this because I'm a collector, a connoisseur of cognoscente cues. Joe Gold is a very good lifelong friend of Rick's. Joe is a friend of mine as well, and I'm honored to collect his cues. And that just gives it that little bit of a twist with that silver in there. Take a look at that as I turn it. You've got the Lazy Z rings at the joint, nice black and white, and he carries it below the wrap and then down into the butt of the cue. The weight is 15.2 ounces on the butt, 58 inches total together, 3.6 ounces on the shafts. And the one thing about the way that Rick builds, there's a lot of different construction processes or techniques. A lot of people use the A-joint. Some people don't core. Some people core partially. Some people do what they call a full core. This is fully cored with a laminated dowel. That means that the core is cored, the cue, is cored all the way through. So what this does is it gives you a consistent hit. So you can use different species of wood. In this case, this would be a marriage between the Gabon Ebony and the maple core. You're primarily going to feel the maple core. Maple plays phenomenal. That's why they use it. The other thing, besides the consistency of the hit, and it does hit good, by the way, whoever buys this will give you a 100% money-back guarantee. Rick also gives a lifetime warranty on his cues. I don't know anybody else that does that. A lot of cue makers, they'll give you maybe a month or maybe a week. I'm just joking. Most of the guys that I work with will back up their cues. Rick goes a step further. He says, hey, I'm so confident in my product, I'll give you a lifetime guarantee. You know how strong that is? That's stronger than death, because some people can actually abuse a cue by leaving it in their car or in bad weather and a whole plethora of other ways that you can abuse a cue. But nevertheless, lifetime guarantee, fully cored all the way through to maintain the consistency of the hit, and also the chances of a cue warping with that laminated laminated core all the way through. There's hardly any chance at all. Look how it spins perfectly. The shafts on this are old growth maple shafts, 3.5 and 3.6. You could have this cue 10 years from now and it's going to spin like that because of his construction process and his taper. He does use a slimmer taper, by the way, on the handle. So it's not a big fat butt like the old school cue makers used to make. Some people like that. More people nowadays want to use the slimmer taper on there. So there you go. Available right now at crossroadcues.com. Here's an opportunity for you to get a cue that would be normally close to $5,000 for $34.75. This was a gracious offer by Rick, exclusively here at Crossroad Cues. Thank you so much for taking a look. We will mark this sold. We don't expect it to last long. Thank you again for taking the time to enjoy this beautiful piece of functional art by Rick Geschrey. Esoteric Cues.